Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday morning to you guys. If you can hear me, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you. Okay, this lighting is into my eyes, in my eyes. Okay, I think I'm better off this way. So, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I don't know why I'm still thinking it's Tuesday. Happy Wednesday. Stephanie Peace, good morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you, my beautiful sister? Good to see you this morning. Good morning, good morning. So I'm just gonna dive in because I don't intend to be long to spend a very long time here. This is my day six of day off at work, so I'm back to work tomorrow. So I need to go out and about and get stuff done. So, good morning and welcome back again. My name is Wemimo and also known as Tatmomo 5 and also known as TMO5 Candle Co. I have a small business called TMO5 Candle Co. So, if you live in the UK, I sell scented candles, wax melt, card users. I'm going to leave my website in the comment section. So, if you're in the UK, feel free to go check it out. And we ship throughout the UK. Okay, we ship throughout the UK. So yeah, with that being said, guys, so I'm sure you guys know I've always come out here to let you guys know obviously if there's any changes in regards to UK immigration and all of that. So obviously it's not something that I do as a consistent video, but each and every time when I see any updates or any news in a way that I feel like I could gravitate towards or that I feel like I could resonate with, I often, I will be happy to come here and, share with you guys. So, and I'm sure it's really not news anymore because, yes, the UK government have moved, the Home Office, they have moved in a way I did not think they would move. I did not see them moving the way they did. According to the title, Home Office, the UK immigration, they've sent warnings. Yeah, they've sent warnings to foreign students saying that if you overstay your visa, we will deport you. And they are not mincing words. Okay, they are not mincing words. So I'm going to share where I saw that article from, and I've got a few of my notes. Like when I was reading it, I was taking notes. So I'm going to be, while I'm glancing through the notes, I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys can see the article so that you're not saying, oh, where is the source of this? Because at times when I share any news like this, I often like to share the source with people so it does not come across as if, oh, I'm the one who's forming up the story. So it doesn't come across as if I'm the one who's just, saying my own thing. So I'm going to quickly share my screen with you now. So this news, I believe it was announced yesterday, which was 2nd of September. And today is the 3rd of September. Okay, I can't believe it's September already, but yeah, this year is flying really, really quick. So let me scroll to the top of the story so that you guys can see where the news is from. So you can see it's from BBC News here, and it says here that international students warned not to overstay visa. Okay, so it's a lengthy read, but yeah, it's a lengthy read. So from what I've been able to deduce from that story, I'm going to be glancing through my notes. If any of you want to, read through as you can always go onto if you have another device, you can always go to that website and, and read what's going on there. So according to that story there, the BBC, the Home Office announced saying to the immigration, to students that if you've come here to stay to study, either a BSc, either a master's, either a PhD, ideally they give them 18 months. You remember there was an immigration white paper, I think it was in May of this year, where they announced a drastic, the massive overhaul of how they are intending to curb things. And there was something called immigration white paper. I have extensive videos that I did in regards to that, and obviously how Kemi Badenoch, how the current prime minister Sir Keir Starmer, and how all them and Nigel Farage, all of them, they're all raving in all of their elements to make sure that this white paper comes to stay. So before the white paper came, students would normally get 2 years. Now, when the white paper was introduced, it was now reduced to 18 months. So they're now saying that if you are a student, either you came to study as a BSc, MSc, PhD. Some are, they come into the UK to study ideally, and then after finishing studying, they have another 18 months. I stand to be corrected. They have another 18 months to either get a job, and if not, they go back home. So now, some who are now finishing their studies are now choosing to seek asylum. Yes, that is what this article is all about. So those who have come, regardless of where you've come from, and I believe at some point in the article or during when the white paper was being released, Nigeria was one of the top three countries. Yeah, so it says here, I'm sure you guys can see it. I'm going to highlight that section for you. So the top three countries responsible for applications such as students who come to the UK to study, instead of them find a job, they are not able to find a job, but rather than go back, they chose to seek asylum. So it says that Pakistan was the most common country of origin, responsible for 5,700 of these applications, followed by students from India, Bangladesh, and Nigeria. So you can see there that they've named Pakistan, India. Let me write it down because I need to refer back to it. So Pakistan is one of the country. Pakistan, India, Nigeria, and Bangladesh. So these are the four countries they have record of who have thousands of students, coming into the UK to study, and 18 months after they are not able to get a job or for whatever reason, they now choose to go seek asylum. And I've said this several times that if you are a Nigerian, and you are claiming asylum, whoever advised you to go and do that is just helping you to ensure that they deport you back to Nigeria very quick. Yes. And I've shared several times, every time I've come here to talk about stuff like this, I've come here to share what really are the stands for claiming asylum. What are the things you can claim asylum with? See, even now, being an affiliate, having an affiliate or having an affiliation with a political party in Nigeria, if you want to come and use that to claim asylum, it will not work. And let me quickly grab that article where a certain Nigerian politician went to Canada to try to claim asylum because he was a member of PDP. They refused him because he was affiliated to PDP. Let me see if I can find that article. Okay, let me see it. Nigerian politician. Guys, please like as you comment. Okay, so I found it. I hope it's on Telegraph. I hope I'll be able to. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you at some point. Okay. So let me stop sharing. So let me share the article with you. So even being affiliated to a certain political party in Nigeria will not give you asylum. So according to this report, it was written by it was on Telegraph, and it was dated August the 14th. Canadian court denied asylum to Nigerian politician due to APC PDP membership. Because I know some people might start coming and start saying, oh, because my dad has an affiliation with PDP or APC, so now my life is at stake, blah 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 blah. Duh, what were you thinking when you came into the UK to come and study? And then because you're not able to get a job, you're not claiming you have an affiliate. So even as a political, like if you have affiliation with any political party in Nigeria currently right now, Canada is saying that if you are ever a politician with APC or PDP and you now fled Nigeria and you now want to come to claim, if this alone is not granting you asylum as a Nigeria anywhere in Canada, why do you think it's going to work as a student who came to the UK? So let's continue on that article that I was sharing with you earlier on. So I've got my notes, so I'm just trying to go in between these articles, okay? So just from what I was able to deduce from that article that I was sharing with you about Home Office warning Home Office warning students. So now the students are not, the UK government are now saying that in 2020, few students claimed asylum. Yes, according to that article on the screen. In 2020, few students claimed asylum. And by the way, they were not even expecting that students would claim asylum. Maybe you are a student, you came into the country, you submitted an application that you have enough money to be able to pay your fees, to be able to pay your living allowances, to be able to live a life that is expected of a student, right? You forgot all those applications you submitted. You forgot all those evidences, bank statements, account balance, all of these things that you submitted when you are making your student application. So now, after you finish studying, You now think, oh, nah, I don't want to go back to Nigeria. Let me go chop aduro. Now, yes, aduro now, Oyinbo, immigration, UK government now know the meaning of aduro. So those of you that will do videos and you're establishing, telling people that, oh, do this to do aduro, if you go into ChatGPT will tell you the meaning of aduro. So even if you go into Google and type aduro, it will tell you automatically what the meaning of aduro is. So hence why, like I said, when I newly started my channel, at some point I want to start talking about asylum and stuff like in the UK, and I was like, no, what? If I continue this lane, I'm going to put myself into trouble. I just backed off. Instead, I'll bring information that I know that some Nigerians would think, oh, it's an easy way. And me as a Nigerian, I'm here to tell you that it is not an easy way for you because, like I said, if anybody advised you as a student or you came here with a work visa or whatever visa, you're trying to switch, and because you were not able to switch, you now think that asylum is the next thing for you to do. Or more, whoever advised you to go do that is helping you get deported back to Nigeria quickly. So, like I said, in 2020, UK government said that few international students claimed asylum. But in 2025, that number has now multiplied by 6. So let's say, for example, maybe in 2020, maybe 10 students or 20 students claim asylum. By 2025, it's grown times 6, which means that 20 times 6, that is the population of students, international students, and they've not actually said what country. They've not said what country now, but like I said, their focus now is on Pakistan, India, Nigeria, Bangladesh. These are the 4 countries where students are actually coming in to study. And then after studies, instead of them to go back home, they're not going back home, they're claiming asylum. So now the Home Office have now gotten their data. At some point, when they stopped all this dependent thing, we're all shouting at MDT Amiyu. So now the Home Office are now saying that students are mostly the largest group of people who are now applying for asylum after finishing their studies. So their programs, it could be students who came to study BSc, MSc, or even PhD. That these students now are among the large population that are now coming to claim asylum instead of them to go find job if they're not. And I know nowadays, even seeking employment now is quite difficult nowadays. Me that I'm sitting here, if you know how I'm going on to job website to try and secure a job for one of my daughters here, I'm like, you know what? Miss, you need to find a part-time job. Yeah, I know you're studying full-time. If I can do it, you can do it as well. So Home Office have now revealed that their claim for asylum does not reflect that these students that are now coming now. So you can imagine, let's say of all, I don't know what is happening in Pakistan, I don't know what is happening in India, I don't know what is happening in Bangladesh. So I'm coming because I am Nigeria. So I'm going to be speaking specifically about Nigeria. So Home Office are now saying that people who are now coming to, these students from Nigeria who are now coming to claim asylum, the asylum is not reflecting what is happening in Nigeria. So please tell me, if you are a Nigerian watching me, look at the current state of Nigeria right now. And if you've been on my channel for a very long time, I've told you the grounds for asylum. Maybe I should quickly bring you again what are the grounds for asylum, for claiming asylum in the UK. 1 second. Because I want to be bringing you facts as I'm sharing all of these things, okay? So yeah, I'm going to share my screen with you while I discuss this section with you. So let me stop sharing this page and let me share the page. Please like and share as a comment. I really appreciate it. So now, if people are now claiming asylum in the UK as a Nigerian, let me see, eligibility. Okay, so from my screen here, if you're a Nigerian, what are the requirements? Like I said, look at what is happening currently in Nigeria right now, and look at this thing, what I've got on my screen in terms of eligibility. So if you're a Nigerian right now and you have finished your studying and you now don't want to go back home to Nigeria and somebody has advised you to go seek asylum, so now just do yourself justice. This screen I've got opened, sit down and look at the things on the screen and look at the case in Nigeria, or look at the current situation in Nigeria, and let me know on which of these do you qualify, or are you eligible as a Nigerian to claim asylum. So it says here that in terms of eligibility to stay in the UK as a refugee, you must be unable to live safely in any part of your own country because you fear persecution there. So you hear that any part, and you and I know that Nigeria is massive. Nigeria is wide. Nigeria is wide. They said in any part of your own country. If you think that Lagos is not safe for you, have you tried Ogun State? Have you tried Anambra? Have you tried Ijebu? Have you tried Edo? Have you tried Abuja? Have you tried the northern part? Have you tried the southern? Have you tried the southern eastern? So all of these places, we have 36, or how many states we have in Nigeria? So in all of the states in Nigeria, if you believe that you are not safe in all of the states in Nigeria, that is one of the eligibility criteria. So as a Nigerian yourself, now that you're already here, you finished studying, and you're saying that you don't want to go back because you fear that you are not safe in all of the 36 states in Nigeria, or more, like I said, they will sharply deport you. So what the mobs are now saying is that the people, the Nigerian people, some of our Nigerian people who are here as a student, who are now coming to claim asylum, their asylum claim does not reflect the situation in their own country. And see, all of the things happening in all of this country, these people are saying it. Oh, they are seeing it. All the things that they have the demographic of every country. They might just be looking at all of you, minding their business, just like how how Trump was looking at everybody. When Trump now start trumping people, they have the demographic of every country. They have their tentacles on, and Nigeria is one of them. So for them to say that Home Office revealed that their claim for asylum does not reflect what is happening in their own country. So as a Nigerian, whatever claim that you are going to go and use to claim asylum, it's not reflecting what is happening in your country of abode, which is Nigeria. So they said here that if you are stateless, your own country is the country you usually live in. This persecution must be because of your race. So in Nigeria, as a Nigerian, is anybody, how are you not safe because of your race in Nigeria? You guys know that one is a foul. As a Nigerian, you are not eligible. Because of your religion, is anybody chasing you because you be Christian, because you be Muslim, because you don't get religion? You guys, you and I as a Nigerian, that is foul. Your nationality, you are in Nigeria. Nobody is telling you that because you are in Nigerian, you cannot stay in Nigeria. I know there's tribalism, but they've not even popped tribalism here. They say your nationality. Nobody is saying, yeah, because you are Igbo, you can't live in Nigeria. Nobody is telling Nigeria that because you are Yoruba, you can't live in Nigeria. So foul. As a Nigerian trying to claim asylum in the UK, you will not be eligible. That is those who came on some sort of student visa or working visa, who have now finished their studies, and instead of them to either find a job because they were not able to find a job, now they resort to asylum. So if that is your plan, don't do it, because the eligibility is on my screen. You will not qualify. You are not eligible as a Nigerian. Also, your political opinion. We all know politics in Nigeria is deadly. I just shared with you how a man, a Nigerian guy who went to Canada, who has an affiliate. He was just an APC. He was just an APC PDP member. We don't know. I don't know if they have a record of him having committed some sort of crime or not. But maybe we'll go back to the article and read it together to see maybe he has committed while he was with PDP or not. But because he has an affiliate with PDP, that alone did not get him asylum. That was the reason why they refused him asylum. They were like, you know what, because they know what politics is saying right now. Even for the fact that Canadian government know that, okay, politics is deadly in Nigeria, APC, PDP, whatever, they know. For the fact that, see, this man did not even use his political whatever affiliation to seek asylum. He did not even use that to seek asylum. But because they knew he had an affiliate, that alone could disqualify him 1000%. Hello, I knew it all. My beautiful sister, how are you? Good to see you here. I knew it all said the UK is closed. I heard they're also asking some countries to pay uni fees in full now. Yes, I saw that before I came live right now. I was just like, oh, more. That's why I'm doing my beloved Nigerian sisters and brothers. I know some of them will still come and yab me, but I have to be honest. Me that I'm sitting down here, I gained my residency via Asylum, and that was 15 years ago. 15 years ago. And it is not the same as it is now. And I am one of those, I'm sure I am one of those migrants. Obviously, I gained my residency through Asylum. I have been contributing since 2010, because that was when I got my indefinite leave to remain. I have not been sitting on my ass. I have been working, contributing to the economy. That is what a country that is growing would want a migrant to do. So now, like I said, from this eligibility on the screen now, you don't qualify. It's easier for you to finish studying if you're not able to get a job. I've always said this before. Don't wait till the last minute of you finishing your course before you start seeking for a job or before you start seeking for other alternatives to how you want to stay in the UK. And other alternatives would be you going to seek an advice from an immigration lawyer that I'm going to be finishing my program in 6 months' time. What do you think is it moving forward for me here? I don't intend going back to Nigeria. What do you think? They will either advise you, get a job. It does not matter what job. Get a job as long as they will offer you some sort of, they will offer you some sort of sponsorship. That's the problem with our Nigerians. They leave things till the last minute. And once it's now almost last minute, they will now start looking for, they'll start looking for cut and paste, quick routes, which often ends in trouble for them. I knew it all said, but the state of Nigeria, some people do need asylum. Yes, I agree with you. But with that being said, they would want to if you're even coming, they would even want you to bring that evidence. And one thing that people do is this: if that is the case, you are coming, they want you to claim that asylum at the point of entry. You would have better chances at the point of entry. Submit all of your evidences right there. As you are coming, you enter flight, you enter UK. At the point of entry, put your hands up with all of your evidences, everything to support your claim. Make sure you have everything. That will be much more believable than you enter, you study. Remember, you've submitted proof that you have enough money to live as a student. You have enough money to look after yourself. You have enough money to pay your dues. You've already submitted all of those things, proof, bank proofs, and then you now finish studying. You now go back and say, I want to claim asylum because this is the thing that happened in my state. It is not safe for me. They will just look at you like, beg, move to the side. You understand where I'm coming from? Some people, that's why some of those who arrive by boat, some of them, if they catch them, they are catching them where they are coming off the boat, and they will know, obviously, these people, this is where they are coming from. But as a Nigerian, so I'm specifically referring, I'm a Nigerian now, you already entered, but why didn't you not, instead of, that's why I said that, what, in as much as I advocate for people to jackpot, I want you to do it in a legal way. Just being Biafra is not enough. I knew it all. Did you hear what happened to that Biafra man in Finland? Did you hear what happened to the Biafran guy? He was jailed in Finland. So right now, that's why I said that guy that went to Canada to claim asylum, for the fact that they found that he has an affiliation to APC, PDP, they did not give him based on that. Because they know, like I said, they have all the information about the country you're coming from. But if you still want to claim the asylum, make sure you have your evidence and proof. And if you're one of those ones who have come in here as a student to study, and after 18 months, you realize you suddenly want to claim asylum, it will not work. It will not work. It will not work. So I know it all said, the UK know what they are doing. They have no intention of giving them asylum if they apply at the point of entry. True. But then, cases are being dealt with individually. So, yeah. So that's like I was saying, the eligibility. If you are currently a student here who has finished studying and somebody's advised to go and seek asylum, don't do it. Don't do it. Look at the eligibility here. Except you have enough evidence, and yes, they confirm these evidences. Except you have your evidence. But what the Home Office are saying from that article was that all of the asylum claims they've received so far is not reflecting what is happening in their own country. It's not reflecting what is happening in Nigeria. And that's why they are, they said, you know what, there's no danger. No danger. Even as a Nigerian, I know what is happening in Nigeria. That one is even enough for you to say, you know what, I'm coming out here. But they are telling you that there is no danger. There is no danger. Also, the increase in student claiming asylum is starting to impact housing and hotel services. I've always said is that even before this influx of students coming in, UK has been suffering housing issues for the very longest time, because what the government there, is it the Margaret Thatcher government or which government again, allow people to be able to buy all the council houses. It's a matter of who get money. If you get money, buy as many houses that you can afford. Most of them benefited from buying majority of council homes. So the UK has been suffering, having issues with housing, like they've been having issues in regards to housing. So the housing that is not enough for the amount of Britons. Now you can now imagine the influx of, migrants coming in, the wave of people who came in through the care worker visa during the COVID period. So the UK are now struggling, you know, and then to now add people that are now claiming asylum, they are now having to use hotels to accommodate people that are claiming asylum. Hence why I said no, there's been lots of protests in the past 2 or 3 weeks now, saying that no, they want asylum seekers out of hotels, that how can the UK government be housing asylum seekers in hotels when Britons who have worked their entire life, some who have contributed to the system, are sleeping on that bridge. They don't have houses or they don't have a roof over their head, but people who came through the boats are being given 3 square meals a day. They are being put in, hotels, So that's one of the issues here. And me, I'm speaking because I am a Nigerian. And yes, because Nigeria is one of the top 4 countries that they are speaking about here. So also, the pressure is now pressurizing the UK government. And yes, the UK government is a country that listens, unlike our country, Nigeria, where our government no send us. If na lie, mo na kpai on top of Nigeria government matter, the government will not blink an eye. I said it yesterday that the First Lady of Nigeria, she's going to be turning 65 soon. What did she do? She did a publicized video asking people that, oh, my birthday is coming, I'm going to be 65. And for that, I have a this to do. I want you, all those of you who want to give me gifts, who want to buy me cake, who want to buy me card, who want to splash birthday messages on newspapers. Rather than doing that, I want you to use that money, put it in so account because she wants to renovate a national museum, a national library. Is the First Lady blind to the suffering or the sufferness of Nigerian citizens? No. So, like I said, even with the fact that I'm sharing this with you, I will still advocate for JAPA, but in the legal way. Know the kind of visa that you are coming for. Okay? And this asylum thing is not really about, it's not only students that are coming to claim asylum. People who even came in via visiting visas. Their visiting visa expires. They decide to tartan, they sit down. So those ones who are claiming visiting, who came in with a visiting visa and decided not to go back, it will be hard for the Home Office to trace them, because now even you can apply, you can package your visiting visa yourself. You can package the application yourself. You don't need to have anybody to give you invitation. It is the people that are actually inviting families. Like me now, when I invited my mom over, obviously I don't intend for my mom to stay. You can imagine if I intend that my mom to stay, and they now found, because obviously they can easily track me, because I gave her the invitation. They can easily track me, track my address to come find her. That is if she's here. So unlike people now, you don't even, so the way people apply for visiting visas, they use so many documentation. Oluwole, some people don't even need to give you genuine invitation for you to be able to come. Gone are the days when they will call you, say, oh, we just want to double check that you are the one that gave this, that gave this, that gave that to someone. And you all said the UK is broke, hence all these policies on immigration. Yes, they are. They are. And they are taking students' money and visa fees, knowing they have no intention of ever giving. Why is Kemi Badenoch all over? And now Case Taman realizes that this thing that Kemi Badenoch is saying makes sense. Oh yeah, instead of 5 years of indefinitely to remain, 15 years. So you can imagine somebody came into the UK and you have to spend 15 years of not being able to claim anything before you can actually get citizenship. You can imagine, for example, if that was me, someone with 5 children, means I will have to pay university fees. I'll be working. It won't be until after 15 years that I've been in the UK that I will not be able to apply. Like, or more, how do let me not go there. Anyway, so like I said, originally the UK already have a struggling housing system. And then people coming to the UK on small boats. They are now coming. Students who refuse to go are now claiming asylum, which means that they claim asylum, they can't work, they will need to be housed. And I've heard people in London who claim asylum saying that London is the worst place to claim asylum, because if you claim asylum, they don't give you accommodation. They don't do nothing for you. They will be looking at you that, I'm sure they have the mentality that, come, you've been in this country for 18 months. You did not claim asylum. Hello, Hatu. And then after 18 months, you're now coming to claim asylum. Where were you living in the past 18 months? Where were you living in the past 18 months? Go and be living in that place while you put your asylum claim in. And I've seen some people, I've heard stories of people who went to claim asylum. They detained them from there. They were able to fast forward the asylum claim within 3 weeks and then deport back to their country. Yes, I've heard stories like that. And these are legit stories. Nobody say them say. These ones the ones that I heard. And people were like, oh, is there a lawyer in Scotland? I'm like, no, that person claimed asylum in London. Let that person find a lawyer in London. If the person claimed asylum in Scotland, it will be a Scottish lawyer that will help them. And Newton said the problem is many other countries doing the same thing as the UK, Portugal, Canada, Germany, Australia at all close. Yes, so absolutely, you're saying the truth. Absolutely, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like I said, I think I did a live stream yesterday that I know when the UK moves or the US moves, Canada will come up with something. The US will also come up with something. So they're all shutting their borders. And do we blame them? We don't blame them. And this is part of what I was saying yesterday when I did a live stream that no, it's high time for those who are running. Yes, obviously, I can't say for myself that I ran because I left Nigeria in 2006. Is it 2006? Yeah, I left Nigeria in 2006. I left Nigeria long time ago. So I know be Jackma. So for people who are applying to Jackma now, if you want to do it legally. But then at the same time, this country that people are Jackma into, they are now saying that they don't want, they are tightening their border control. They are saying they don't want people, they're just not saying it openly, but what they're trying to say to us is that they don't want you people, stay in your country. That's practically what they are saying to us. So those who are still saying they want to Jackma, maybe it's high time people who are still back home form a strong force and say to our government, it's now that you need to start listening to us. You don't listen to us, this country is going to be on fire. But I don't think Nigerians are ready. Atu said, Sweden is also following suit. Oh, see? I've not even, let me take a note of that so I can go read up on that as well. So do we blame them? No. And I'll say here that, yes, even as much as I'm Nigerian, some of the effects of all of this lack of housing, I said to you, I'm not a homeowner yet in the UK. And the way it's going, I don't think I want to become a homeowner because houses are crazy in price right now. I've been waiting for a 5-bedroom house for the past 8 years because according to the housing policy in the UK, if you have a child above the age of 10, they are entitled to their own bedroom. I mean, my 3 of my older kids, without being said, my third child, my first son is 19 today. So he's officially moving to uni. He's moving. He's like, Mom, I need to move closer to uni. So he's officially moving out this week to uni. So you can imagine me with 5 children when they were all below the age of 10. So now they are now above the age of 10. They are entitled to a bedroom of their own. UK know they build 5-bedroom house. And if they build 4-bedroom, this 4-bedroom, generation of families have been staying in that 4-bedroom house. So they don't leave that 4-bedroom. Some of them will keep their children at home. In fact, for them not to leave that 4-bedroom that they've had for years, they will take in their grandchildren. So which means that those of us who are waiting for 4-bedroom, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. In fact, I received a letter, was it 3 days ago, they are encouraging me to get into a mid-market. There's some new builds in my area right now, and they've sent me an email and a letter. I think I received a letter yesterday, and I received an email about 2 days ago saying there's a mid-market property that are being built. If I'm interested, that was my housing association offering me the opportunity to be able to, put an interest in buying. But like I said, if I really want a house, I'll be going for a 5-bedroom house, and it's not going to be a flat. It's going to be a house. And can I afford it? I was just saying about one of my friends who has a 5-bedroom house out of Glasgow towards Stirling area. Their house is like how they build houses in America. Massive driveway, massive garden, two garages, massive driveway in front, and that house was £500,000. £500,000, yes. And a deposit for that, if I want to buy such property, I'll need to have at least £50,000 as deposit. For me, even though that is not the asking deposit, but I will need to have at least £50,000 as deposit. But almost that's a lot of money. So let's move on. Like I said, the pressure is now pressurizing the UK, saying that they're pretty much telling us that they don't want us stay in your country. Stay in your country because at the end of the day, MD Tiami already told us that these Nigerian students are not coming to study. They are just using it as a route to come and settle down here. And then they stop the bringing of dependents, except you are a doctor or nurse or something. They stop that. So now you now study with this visa. You now don't want to go back to your country. Like, okay, you don't want to go back after studying. Why? Oh, you find a job. You are not able to find a job. Leave. You don't want to leave. Now asylum straight away. So they are saying no. If you don't leave, we are going to move you. So the issues now, like I said, by June, they said in June of 2024, that was the first time they released a report that 15% of asylum seekers came from students. Yes. by the June of 2025, June of this year, 16% of asylum claims were all from students. 41,100 asylum claims were from students who entered the UK in a legal way. They entered as a student, that their visa was valid, they already paid all the fees they're supposed to pay. Yes, it also came from those who came to study, those who came to work, and those who came as a visitor. Even as a visitor, you see applied, they came into the country legally, right? So they said 41,100 of those claims were from people who entered into the UK to study. Yes, 41,100 asylum claims were from students who entered the UK legally. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that for me, so that at least I will not be paying, so that I will not be paying mortgage till I retire. Because I would imagine you would want to pay off your mortgage before you retire. Like me now, according to the HMRC, my retirement, the year that I'm going to retire is 2048. So I'm out till I am 70 or something. I know there's this thing about early retirement, but for me, if I were to go for a property that amount, because like I said, it's a massive house, 5-bedroom house, beautiful. And they claimed that they bought it for £500,000. Mm-hmm. For me, if I want to embark on such property, I would want to deposit at least 50,000. I mean, yeah, £50,000. I want so that at least it takes off whatever money I'm borrowing and for how long I pay for and stuff like that. Yeah. So the pressure is in the UK. They said, like I said, 41,100 of those asylum claims came from students. And when compared to 43,000, so 43,000 came through small boats. Small boats could be all these people coming from either Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. Because like I said yesterday, that Nigerian people know they enter small boats, enter UK. And I stand to be corrected. I don't think I've heard a story of anybody that entered into the UK via small boats. So they are saying that if they compare 43,600 of people who came through small boats, the like, yes, 43,600 came through small boat, but 41,100 were from students who came in legally. So it's a big pressure. Like, okay, how are people who are coming in legal way now refusing to leave after study? Like, you study, you finish studying, you get a job, go back. No. And I remember when I was much younger, I know people who travel abroad, maximum a year, they go to study, they come back. Now people are not coming back. People are not coming back. So now UK students claiming asylum now supersede those who arrived via small boat. That is the problem the UK is having now. So people who are now coming through small boats, no, now the people who are now students, work visas, visitors, they are now the ones whose application for asylum is now even huge as compared to people who came through small boats. I hope you guys understand that comparison. Nicola said, "You speak so much like Adaize. I think that's generally how people can sound when they go. Lagos, born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria." Hi, Nicola, welcome. I was born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria. Anna said, "It's similar. It's happening in Canada. Yes, it's happening in Canada as well. Yeah." And I remember Acid Darling when it was really, really hot in Canada. Obviously, I think it was pretty much not quite long after UK stopped the bringing of dependent that Canada followed suit as well. And I remember that Acid Darling was, back and forth sharing all of those news and advising people what they could do, like go seek advice, see if you can see if you can switch your visa, blah blah blah, and all of that. So now the government has now responded, which is why I'm here. So in 2025, the UK government actually gave ultimatum and new rules to universities in the UK, saying that if too many people are now dropping out of your university, such university risks losing their sponsorship license. And I think universities will have a quota every year of students that they can take in. So if they get the quota of the students they take in every year, and then maybe 24% or maybe 30% of those students drop out, then there's a risk that the university could lose their sponsorship there. So then I think what they're trying to say to the university that, you know what, scrutinize the people you are giving sponsorship to, scrutinize the people, the students you are giving admissions to. Because yes, we know of people who apply for these admissions with Oluwole. If you go to London, there are some schools that don't even have qualification. I think they're much more regularized right now. I'm talking about year 2010, year 2008, when there will be, you know, we all watch UK Border Force, where there will be a school where, so the school does not exist, though, but there's letter headed paper saying that this person is going to attend lectures, this person is going to attend lectures, and when immigration catch the person, the school is not in existence, or the school has no record of the student. You understand what I'm trying to say? And also in 2025, during the white paper, like I said, when the UK introduced the white paper, the things that they are stopping and what is changing, they cut the visa, they cut the graduate visa. You know, ideally, you have 2 years after graduation, after finished studying. They cut it from 2 years to 18 months. It's in the white paper, and I have lots of videos where I discuss the white paper as well. You know, the changes and how it affects students, how it affects where they no longer issue the, so the care worker visa is now being on hold. They are no longer issuing the care worker visa. Those are part of the things that happened during the white paper. And now students are being banned. Yeah, you remember from the white paper, students are being banned from switching to work visa, still studying, because they are hoping that once they finish studying, once we encourage them to study, after finishing studying, get a job. So now some people thought that, oh, okay, this thing going to affect me. Let me quickly change my visa. They did not allow that. So this is the how the UK government have been responding. But then in a way, I don't think it's been helping that much, because for them to now say that if you don't go home, we will deport you. So like I said, in the white paper also, they restricted students from bringing their dependents, and which brings 85%. Hello, honey babe. Good morning, my baby sister. How are you? So which means that they restricted 85% drop in applicants bringing their family to study. You know, so if you're a dependent, you're coming on a student visa and all of that. You know, so it restricted dependents from people from bringing their dependents, and then in terms of their salary threshold as well. So if you actually want to bring your dependents, you need to have a job. It is certain threshold between so amount to so amount before you can do that. That alone stop some people are like, okay, they are not. And yes, that actually worked, because the application of people who are actually applying for all of these visas, it dropped a little bit. So they saw some sort of, you know, success in that. But I think maybe that success has actually stalled now, because they came out with the current campaign as at yesterday. What was her name? Something Cooper. I think that's the name of the lady now. I can't remember her name now. They came out with, you know, in this article that I'm sharing with you, as at yesterday, September 2nd, the Home Office now launched a direct warning. Over 10,000 students have already got text messages or emails to say that if you finish studying and you do not leave, we will find you and we will deport you. So let me read the article. It's on the screen here. Let me scroll through and read it. It's a long read, but we'll just, you know, scroll through it. So where's the article again? I'm finding it. I'm looking for it. Okay, saying it. I just seen the comment. Let me quickly read that comment before I go on to read it. So Nicola said it likes we all have to go and study in China. People are entering China. Like, you know what? For me, I love my job as a nurse. And the fact that I have an honors degree in information technology. Maybe me say go pack my bag, go China. I will leave my kids in the UK because I know they'll be fine. I mean, I've got this flat. I'm actually contemplating buying this flat now. No Twitter. We will live without Twitter. We will live without Twitter. As long as we can do Instagram, we can do reels on Instagram and YouTube there, we'll be fine. So Nicola says it's like we're all gonna have to go study in China. I don't know how I will manage China school. They monitor and assess your internet use. No Facebook. No Facebook, no Twitter. Okay, no, I know they go. Sorry. I am not no to China. No, thank you. No Facebook, no Twitter, no TikTok. Because and then again, I don't think I would want to go to a country where they don't speak English. I don't think I would want to go. You guys, I told you guys, did I do a review when I went to Germany? They don't speak English. And when I took a Uber, the guy was like, oh, the Germans speak English like the Americans. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll be fine. I was going by the word of the Uber driver that took me from my house to the airport. Oh, the Germans speak like They have their English like American English. I totally believed him. I got to the airport, my final destination, and they're like, English, no English, no English. I was like, Sheikh Badun, are you guys all right? No disrespect, but they don't speak English. I don't think I struggled. At some point, I forgot that I actually had Google Translator on my phone. My head did not even go to that. Oh, damn, when me use Google Translator. It did not go, it did not even result, it did not even appear to me. But luckily, I was able to find, and some of the few guys I found, some of them are looking to toast me. I'm like, are you all right? I'm asking for, and yes, these people were Nigerians, because only a Nigerian man you see in a foreign land that will be toasting you, because yes, I was speaking English, and obviously he or she, a couple of them, the way the way they saw me, they knew I was a newbie in Germany, in Bremen then when I went. And the way the guy was looking at me, obviously trying to offer me help because I was meant to catch a fast train. He was trying to tell me because I was on the phone to the person I was going to visit, and I was speaking broken. So obviously you understood my accent, and then the guy was trying to attach himself to me. And we're like, I wanted to ask you for your number. I was like, oh, Uncle, sorry, my train just arrived. I need to go. Two of them, So I don't think I can leave or I can move to a country where they don't speak English. I might not speak the perfect English, but I don't think even this tata that I'm speaking, I am happy with it, but I don't think I can live in a country where they don't speak English. I'm sorry. No to China. No, 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 no. Honey Babe said a lot of Nigerians in China. Really? I would imagine they will have to, speak, learn their language. And for me, I studied French while in secondary school for 4 years. I can't speak a word in French. So no hope for me learning another language. I'm sorry. The blueprint, Babe said, I follow one Nigerian lady who studied and lives in China. She can speak Chinese very well. I've seen a video of a guy as well, I think on TikTok, who speaks Chinese like, it's funny seeing a black man speak Chinese. It's just here in Scotland, when you see a Nigerian who is speaking skunk Scottish. Let me go and find my TikTok video. I don't know, I can't remember his name now. But yes, is a guy, I think he's married to a Scottish woman. There's two of them, and there's actually a trend now on TikTok where people in the US are like gravitated towards Africans in Scotland who speak Scottish. They're like, oh, they're coming to Scotland on their next holiday, blah 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 blah. That what with African people with Scottish accent? Like me, I'm not going to fake Scottish. I can't speak Scottish. At times when I'm communicating with my colleague, they tell me, oh, we can see you've got a twang. I don't get any twang anywhere. No here, oh, shin, exactly, Nicola. So I don't think I'll be able to live in a country where they don't speak English. I don't mean any disrespect. That's just because if they want to buy me, I want to be able to hear what they're trying to say if they're trying to buy me. And Nicola says that they are very racist. They are very racist in China. At COVID times, they were not allowing any blacks to be treated for COVID, left on the street. Well, I think I saw a few of those videos as well. Honey Babe said, yes, that mom of 5, you are correct. No here, ho, shin. Exactly. No here, ho, shin. Honey Babe said, I've seen the Scottish guy you are talking about. Have you? Mm-hmm. And all the Scottish babes, they are like in his comment section. I'm like, all of you are fa. That one of them is married to one of you, so your tactics is not going to work on him. I think I watched one of his videos and I commented that, oh, it's good to see a lovely, an African bro. Like the first time I saw a young guy, it will have been 18 years. I was at college then and I was on a bus and I could just hear this skunk Scottish accent. He was sitting behind me and I was sitting at the front and I heard him speaking on the phone. On a normal day, I wouldn't have looked, but there was something about his accent. And then when I turned, it was a black guy. I said, is this how my kids are going to speak? It's not as if maybe I love the fact that my kids are able to switch. While my kids are out and about in school or anywhere, it is Scottish accent they speak. And even at times, I struggle to hear them when they are with their colleagues, when they are with their friends, when they are at school. At some point, I actually recorded one of them speaking. I was in school. I think I was at the parents' evening, and he was communicating with his teacher, and I had to record him because I was stunned. But when they get home, they switch and speak exactly like a child who just arrived from Nigeria today. I don't know how they do it. So yeah. Ama TV. Only baby, you're laughing. It's true. Hello, Ama TV. Ama TV said, I can speak Gaelic. See, this is another person who speaks Gaelic. I can't even try. One of my colleagues at work speaks Gaelic. And when she starts, I'm looking at Ama like, sis, what are you saying? I can't even hear you. I can't even understand you. I'm like, miss, please switch to the one that I can hear. She speaks very good Gaelic. Well, she's Scottish anyway, so I've heard Scottish people speak Gaelic, but I struggle to understand. Like, I'm like, do you mind speaking English, please? I say to her, and she just laughs. So Amma said, I can speak Gaelic. I'm from Cameroon, nothing there. UK government just trying to change their immigration policy. Some African are misusing it. Labour just trying to stay in power. And you know what? I really wouldn't say I really wouldn't say that the Africans are, I mean, the UK Africans are misusing it. Well, some are misusing it. I will agree with you because, like I said, if you come here to study, you were able to provide evidences of the funds you have. You know, you're able to provide evidence of funds and all of these things. And then you finish studying. What they expect you to do is get a job. And I've seen some people who say, I can never do cleaning job. I can never do cleaning. Me, that I'm sitting here, dude. I've told you guys several times. Even I was in church on Sunday. I'm a pastor. My pastor is a PhD holder, and he was saying to us the kind of job he has done for him to attain what he has and where he is right now. It was asking that, has anybody ever done kitchen job before? When we're in church on Sunday, I was like, I raised them and I say, I have. And yes, if you've ever worked as a kitchen porter in an industrial kitchen, there's a company in East Kilbride. I don't know if they are still there now. I think they are called Motorola. Is it Motorola? I don't know if they are still there, if the company is still there. Their kitchen is massive. And when I say their kitchen is massive, I don't know how many staffs they've got, but their lunchtime is always like, lunchtime often takes like 2 hours. When I worked as a kitchen porter, and at times I will help them to make sandwiches and stuff like that. That was the first time I saw an industrial dishwasher. That was the first time I saw an industrial dishwasher. And there used to be some pots that you will have to go into that. This is my pastor's experience now. That during this time, there are some pots that you need to enter inside that pot to wash. My own was industrial dishwasher. You open the dishwasher, the wave of heat that will eat you. If you see a lagoon filled with ice, you will wish for it so that you can jump into it to cool yourself. I have done cleaning job in an massive office space where normally there's bin beside everybody. I'll be praying that one person should drop a piece of paper so I can grab it. That's the kind of job I've done. So people like PhD holder, me cleaning job never, me care job never, hunger never wire. Those are the kind of people who don't want to do that kind of a job. And yes, some of them will say, oh, I'd rather go claim asylum, and some will just mind their business and they will go. Okay. Nicola said they are stopping Africans from coming in, but have you noticed that every 2-3 hours there are a new India entering UK? How them take drum now? I agree with you, Nicola. I myself, kitchen porter, we have all done it in the UK too. Exactly. And has he taken any hair from our body? No. What has he done? He has shaped us. It has shaped us to where we are today. For me, if I was ever told I would ever be a nurse in this country, I would say try again. And even now, like I said, I have my honors degree in information technology. I have never taken up an employment with it. The first employment I saw when I newly graduated there was in England with HP. And then my kids were very, very young. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to take 5 children below the age of 10 and move to England. That I was not going to do it. If I knew then, rather than going to study information technology, I would have gone to study nursing. And then I'll probably be top of the band, or maybe I would have been band 7 or band 8 now. So this is me just saying that never underestimate yourself. Then I was like, oh, because of my immigration status, I might not be able to study nursing. But then even with my immigration status, I could have started my training into that field. But hey ho, we are here today. With the big sponge, please help us tell them with the big sponge. Yes, only babe said very true. So anyway, messages being sent. I was going to read the article. Messages being sent by the Home Office to the students. Let's start. Launch the campaign response to alarming spike in the international student illegally. As part of the campaign, the Home Office has, for the first time, proactively contacted international students directly by text and email Home Secretary Vet Cooper told the BBC some international students are claiming asylum even when things haven't changed in their home country. I've shared that with you already. Around 13% of asylum applications in the year to June, around 14,800 came from people in the UK. Came from people in the UK a study visa. Pakistan, I've already read that. So I'm trying to look at. I don't know the kind of message they said they send. Let me see what the message says. So it says that the new message campaign will see around 130,000 students and their families receive a message telling them if they have no legal right to remain in the country, they must leave. And yes, all of these people home office have their address, but with this thing now about messaging, people will start disappearing. That's what's going to happen now. People will start disappearing. They will start leaving their addresses and they will not report any change of address. But then with people who have children, this will be very difficult for them to do. This will be very, very difficult for them to. I remember doing my asylum claim years ago then. And that time I've already, exhausted all of my appeal avenues. And I remember that's been after I've been on the asylum system for about 3.5 years. Even that time, I knew of people who have children who are running from the asylum system. They left because at some point their case was over and no office told them they had to leave and stuff like that. I remember anytime I receive a brown envelope or more fear go catch me, I won't be able to go to the door to get the letter. And I remember being invited for an interview one day by the home office. So my other 3 children were already at school. So the last 2, they were at nursery. So they were happy for me to come with the youngest 2. And I remember attending. No, I've not even had my last one. I still had 4 then. So I remember I was pregnant with my 4th child. And my other 3, they were still at school, but they advised me to withdraw them from school and bring them to the appointment to the home office. Yes, the home office, they asked me to bring my other, like I should come with my children for that meeting. And I remember clearly, it was a male and a female. And at that interview, they told me that, I could do the IOM, voluntary return back to Nigeria, and that they will support me, they will give me this, they will give me that to go back. And I said to them that I'm not going. Obviously, for me, in my heart, I know there was nothing they could do to me because I was heavily pregnant. I knew there was nothing, they won't remove me. That I was assured because my lawyer already assured me, and my lawyer fought, my lawyer was really good. So I said to them that I was not going. My kids were playing with the toys in the corner. And then the lady said to me that there are some Nigerians like you who have children that we've told them that their case have ended, that they've run. That why have I not left the asylum? Why have I not run? Why am I not running? Why have I not disappeared? And I said to her that, look at me, I am pregnant. And look at these children. Why do I want to run with to them that you will not find me? They will have to go to school, right? They will have to go to nursery. If God forbid, if any of them fall sick, they will have to go to a GP, because even then, you will still be able to use, health system and stuff like that. That where will I run to that I will not use all of these services that you will not find me? And I said to the lady that day that, you know what, I can't run because where do I want to go with these children? When I said that, the female interviewer, she burst into tears and said to her colleague, I can't do this. She left the interview room and left me with the male interviewer. And the male interviewer was like, okay, so when they were doing that interview, they were, every time they have an interview, you have an interview at the home office, they will record your meeting. So the guy was like, oh, interview ended at so, and stop the tape. And he was like, miss, you can go home. And I remembered I was about maybe 7 months pregnant with my second son when I had that interview. And obviously I was going to the home office to report myself and stuff like that. So when I entered about maybe 6 weeks before I was due to give birth, I was told to stop coming to the home office, that they were giving me time to have my child, more or less like they were giving me maternity leave. More like they were giving me a maternity leave. So that was the last time I had that meeting. They were like, no, don't come back until, don't come to the home office until, I think, when my baby turns 3 months old or something. And then they told me what to do. Once you have your baby, they need the original copy of the birth certificate so they could add my child to my asylum program, my asylum case and stuff like that. So they gave me all the requirements and stuff. So, and I remember clearly that even at that, I still breathed a sign of relief that I'm not free from these people who they can still do and undo. And then they were doing lots of midnight raids, early morning raid. They will come to your flat 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, break the door and take people. I know people who started the asylum process with me who they've removed from by the early morning raid. So and I remember clearly it was a week after I had my son. So I had my son on the 7th of February. And I remember clearly that date. It was the 14th of February. I received a call. I already had my son. It was a week after I had my son. I received a call and it was from my lawyer. And my lawyer said, "Where me?" I said, "Yes." She was like, "Where I am? Where am I?" I said, "Oh, I'm at home. That I just got back from the GP because I remembered I was not sleeping after I had my son, after I had my second son. And I think it was from the fear because when I had my first son, I hemorrhaged. I almost died. My life is a testimony, guys. I almost died. I died and they resuscitated me. So they were kind of like, they were very, very constantly back and forth with me, my midwife and all of that. So even at that, when I had my second son, I was not sleeping. So I was back and forth with the GP. And my lawyer asked me that, Wemi, where are you? I said, "Oh, I've just come back from the GP." She was like, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "No." She said, "Grab a seat." Then my heart was beating. Boo. Like, what has this lawyer got to say to tell me? And she was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting down now." She was like, "Oh, because I was like, "Orion, Nicola, tell me, what is it?" She was like, "Wemi, you've been granted indefinite leave to remain." See, immediately I heard indefinite to remain. I don't even know where I threw my phone. I don't even know how I was able to retrieve the phone. That was in 2010. So she was like, "No, what I want you to do now," I think I can't remember if it was a Friday or if it was a Wednesday. She was like, "No, what? I want you to take your new baby to a passport picture, like a shop to go take a passport photograph of your baby, and then take it to the home office on the Friday." That was how I got the news of me being granted indefinite leave to remain. That was like maybe about 3 months after the other interview at the home office saying that, "Why are you not running away?" Some Nigerians with children, when we have this meeting, they don't even come, but you are still coming. So yeah, that was how I got the news of my son, my indefinite leave to remain. I remember I took my picture. I've still got the picture of that my baby. It was just 7 days old. We had to place him on a white sheet on the floor to take a passport photograph of him. And then I went to the home office and I told them that my birth certificate is not ready because when you register the birth, they will post it out to you. So when I received a copy of the birth certificate, I sent it to them. And then they now phoned me to tell me when to come collect my documentation, like paperwork to say this is what I can still remember the story vividly in my head. So I submitted all the paperwork, the original birth certificate and all of that. And then I received a call to say, "Come for this appointment." And I went and then I sat down at the waiting area. I didn't take any of the kids because my husband was at home with them. I sat in the waiting area and then they called you. So they called you by your number and they called my number and I went to this desk with a glass. I sat down there because I've got a smile on my face. Like, I know this time around I'm not in fear. And then I could tell that the guy behind the shield, I think somebody was asking him. So somebody rang the phone. He had a phone beside him. He answered the phone, and I think from the way he answered the question, the person was like asking him that what was I doing? That what was my countenance? And why I guess that was the question was because he replied to the person that she's sitting here, she has a smile across her face. So that was how I was able to think in my head that I guess whoever called it was asking him like what was my. So 2 minutes later, the a lady came out, and I remember it was the same lady who was at that interview with me, who said no, I can't do it, who cried and left. She was the same lady, and she took over from the guy, and she was like, "No, Wemi, I'm happy to say to you that you've been granted indefinite leave to remain, which means you don't have to come to the home office anymore. Which means I'm going to be giving you all of this documentation, which means you can now apply to work. But in your case now, you still have a baby, you are not allowed to work, or you can't work until your last baby goes to school." So you know what? They were already giving me the main information that I'm supposed to know. So she gave me all of those advice. They already booked an appointment with me, like going to DWP to register for all this, support benefits you get for the kids and all of that. She was like, "I've already made an appointment for you. This is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get." And I had this envelope with all of the appointments, and she was like, "You know what? where you're living, you have this is now the time for you to say exactly what area, what type of housing you want to live, you know? So that was how that story went. And here I am today. And I often say then that even while I was in the asylum system, I was still pushing. I was going to college, I was going to school. I had my HND while I was in the asylum system. I actually got my university admission while I was still on the asylum system. So when I finished my HND course at college, I went straight into third year university for my information technology degree. So I got my honors degree in 2 years. So from HND college to third year university, um, fourth year, and the honors year. I did all of that. So at times I see some asylum seekers here, they just sleep. Some people at some point were abusing me. Oh, you are making babies. I they make baby, but I they study at the same time because I know that I don't want to be that person who is going to sit on the door and not work. You know, yes, I got my settlement via asylum. And while even in the process of asylum, I was going to school because there's the opportunity there for you to go to school, learn a trade, learn a skill. I took it up. Like I said, I gained my HND degree while I was in the asylum system. And by the time I got my indefinite leave to remain, I was ready to, start uni in the September of that year, third year. And I got all the support I needed, childcare, everything, even being supported, getting childcare was enough to ginger me to continue studying. And I'm looking back now, I'm glad I did. So these people that are now coming to claim asylum now, how many of them do you think would do the same that I did? Even though these opportunities are there for them. Now they're not even giving them the chance because they're saying, you have to go back. So I've shared my story a few times, I've shared it a few times, and I'm not sharing it to brag. I'm sharing it to encourage some or those who are already in the system. Because even the system, like I said, when I was in it, there are some people whom we came at the same time, they've deported them back. They've deported them back. One of my close family friend I know here, she was sent back. She was one of those who did not follow the policy, the rules, come and report so that we know you are still there. She refused to come. It was one morning like that, they went to her flat, broke her door, took her and her son. They deported her back to Nigeria. So, yeah. Babe said they are targeting all who overstay. Yes, that's what they are doing now, and they are not stopping. Thank you, Ama TV. The Babe said, great story. It shows if you do things properly, it can help in your favor. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Josh said, that's your son, is it? It is that my son now that is now causing me, that gave me problem with social services. Can you guys see how things is working? It is that my son. It did not even occur to me. It is that my son now that put me in social worker hotpot. He is the one. That your son is a blessing. Yes, so I remember when my husband got his own, I was almost due for my first baby. You see? One babe said, beautiful testimony. Thank you, honey babe. One babe said, people do take advantage of the education system, especially adult learning. Look at what exactly, I remember then so when I was the accommodation we're living, we have like an housing officer. So if there's any repair, if the condition of the house is not, if it's not safe, if I have any complaint, or even with my support, then it would often come once a week. And this man, I will never forget him, Ronnie Clark, that's his name. There was a time I saw him about 6 months ago. I was driving to work and I saw him. If you see how I parked my car to go and hug him, he did not know who was hugging him from the back. I'm like, oh, it's me, Mr. Ronnie, it's Wemi. He could not believe his eyes. You need to see how he hugged me, pulling me from my husband was in the car because my husband had to take the car somewhere. So I was like, park, that's Mr. Ronnie. The advice that man gave me, even though he was working for the council affiliated with working with the Home Office to help asylum seekers, we formed a great bond with him, especially me. Anytime I need anything, Ronnie, I'll call him Mr. He will like drop the Mr. Call me Ronnie. Very, very funny. He will come around, play with the kids. Every time he comes to visit me and the kids, he will always bring something. And then at times when I'm like, if I don't know what's going on, on a normal day, he has no business with my asylum claim. He has no business with asylum claim. But I'll say, this is what the Home Office are saying. I'm terrified. And he will like, oh, go and meet your lawyer. or go and meet so go to so place, go to so place. It would direct me to places, but it's not as maybe it's telling me what to say or what to do. It would send me to places that I might get help or maybe get some sort of maybe something that could help with my case. You will like, oh, have you been to this place? Go to so place, go to your lawyer, ask for this, go to your lawyer, let your lawyer know. If anything that is bothering you, let your lawyer know. Even when it comes down to accommodation, if I needed anything, my washing machine is not working, if I text him, don't worry, a new one will be delivered tomorrow. Or if I say, oh, this is not working, oh, Wemi, don't worry, I'll send one straight away for delivery. It was always there. Like there are even some things that I even learned from him that I don't want to share here, which helped my case till when I got that. It was someone who, at some point, I'm thinking, even as a nurse, I'm thinking of working with the asylum system in the UK. I'm really considering it because for him, it was a social worker working with families with children who are claiming asylum. That was his role with me. School placement for the kids. It was keeping me updated and all of this. I'm considering looking for a job as a nurse in that field. I'm going to look, if any of you come across such role in Scotland, please do let me know. Like working with refugee people, especially parents with children. I would love to take up such role. Like it gave so much meaning. Like I said, there are some things that he helped me with that I can't. Even when I got my first accommodation, it was empty. He said, Wemi, all of these things in this flat that you have now, you can move them to your new accommodation. In most cases, you are not allowed. You have to just take your clothes and move into your new flat. My new flat was empty, nothing inside of it. It was like, Wemi, you are allowed to move all of these things. I'll provide you with a truck that's going to come help you move. He did that. And then over time, I started changing stuff myself, changing the wardrobe, changing the beddings. Over time, I changed everything. But that alone helped me settle into my own cozy home. Today, I might not be a landlady in the UK. I might not be a massive business. With that being said, guys, my business, go and shop my candle business. So let me put my website in the comment section. I might not be a massive business owner in the UK. I have a small side business, okay, candleco.com. So if you hear me say, I also known as TMO5 Candle Co. That's my small business. I sell scented candles in the UK. Okay. It helped me beyond measures. I might not be a homeowner in the UK today. I might not be a landlady. I might not be a big entrepreneur in the UK. But me sitting out here, I know what I am. I know what I am. Not even in maybe assets or whatever. The richness I am in people's lives. I know. I know. So guys, go shop my business, okay? You can find me on TikTok as well. Only said people to take advantage. Yes, so like I said, I've always said it here that if you're in the asylum system, go to work. No, don't go to work because there are some people, while you're on the asylum system, you are not allowed to work. Okay. I think recently people are like, oh, you can apply now to work. I don't know how to do that, but during my time, we were not allowed to work. But there's school there. You can go and study, go and learn a skill. There's funds. They will even be happy. They will even be happy that, okay, you are even volunteer. If you don't want to work, say, go and volunteer maybe 2 hours a day. They will even be happy. For me going back to school, even volunteering at some point were the things that also helped me. Because they realized that even though she's pregnant, she has 3 kids, she's still going to school. I went like, all of my college then often update home office. If I have to go sit exam, there have been times whereby home office won't call me in the middle of exam, where the invigilator's like, oh, sorry, she's in the middle of an exam right now. Could we move that appointment to 2 o'clock or in 2 hours time? And they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. Stoke College then, if you're in Glasgow, you remember Stoke College. That was the college I went. My certificate, every time I pass an exam, I always take that because me too, I'm trying to build my case, say, I am integrating into the society. If you understand, you claim asylum and you're not integrating, you're not doing anything, you're just sleeping and waking up, you are just hosting parties, eating food and doing all of that because they're giving me money every week or more. You just realize that 10 years will be gone and they won't have given you paper, and then they'll just come in the middle of the night one day. They'll come and grab you and your family. So there's funds there, integrate into the society. If you have children, your children will go to school. If your children are away in school, do something with yourself as well. Because like I said, even when I came into this asylum, it was a 50-50. 50-50 that I could possibly be deported back, and 50-50 that I'll be allowed to stay. That I didn't come because I had the feeling that I would get it. No. Atu said they took one of my friend while sleeping. I've seen that even when I was living in one of those multi-story buildings. I've seen that happen. One, if you see the physique of that lady, she was like Mike Tyson. She fought immigration. Though. She fought them, but they were able to subdue her, and they got her. They sent her back. Honey Babe said there is no excuse of not achieving things. Yes, as there is a push to educate people, such as adult learning. Exactly. Then I went when I started college, I went back as adult returner. Nobody say I no get for my education. I finished secondary school for Nigeria. I wrote as a diploma in law. I studied for a semester before I left Nigeria. So I have some form of education. Nobody say I no get education. But I started college here as an adult returner. That's a course. That's a course on its own, adult returner. So you either start at NC or something, and then you build yourself. I think I went to college for 3 years or so. There's always something to learn, such as learning and also free courses you can do, which is funded by the Skills Fund. Absolutely. Honey Baby is spilling the truth here. Okay. Honey Baby said, I'm currently enrolled onto a counseling course, which is free. Oh, that's good. That's the things that some people can do. You can do free. They won't charge you for it. Arthur said some of our people lie a lot in their asylum cases and confuse the process. You're right. Hence why, like that, I believe that those people are the ones why home office are coming up with this text message thing. And like I said, you came into the UK as a PhD student, as a master's student. You forgot that you showed evidence of funds. You forgot that you showed that you have this money, and then you finish studying after 18. You finish studying 18 months. You're not able to get a job. You are now claiming asylum. Like, were you slumbering? Were you sleeping? Were you in a deep slumber before? So imagine the time you spent studying, and then you have that 18 months. That's like almost 2.5 years or 3 years. Nothing stopped you from claiming asylum. And then all of a sudden, so yes, they are misusing it. Thank you so much, Honey Babe. Honey Babe said, I do a lot of volunteer work. It really looks good on your CV. Absolutely. 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 Right, I'm going to finish reading this article and then I will round up, okay? So the message here says that tens of thousands will receive the message in the coming months. The BBC understands to coincide with autumn when application often increase. Yes, the full message will read. So this is what the full message will read. In quote, if you submit an asylum claim that lacks merit, it will be swiftly and robustly refused. That's them telling them that come. And I would imagine that they'll be sending this to people that they know that their visas will be running out soon. And that is just a reminder that come, if your plan is to claim asylum, if it lacks merit, they will refuse it sharply. It continues, any request for asylum support will be assessed against destitution criteria. If you do not meet the criteria, you will not receive support. If you have no legal right to remain in the UK, you must leave. If you don't, we will remove you. Cooper told BBC Breakfast that students are entering the asylum system and sometimes staying there for years, which in quotes causes problems with asylum accommodation and hotels. We obviously will do our bit to support the new refugees, she added, but if nothing has changed in your country, people should not be claiming asylum at the end of a student course. Exactly. While the political focus this summer has been on people arriving on small boats, so yeah, they are focusing on people arriving on small boats this summer, but when winter comes now, I'm sure there will be lots of students whose visas are due to run out at that time. Hence why they said they'll start, doing all of that. So that's pretty much that. Like I said, the article is on BBC. If you want to print screen, if you're watching me on a laptop, you can print screen so you can go find the article and read up on it. So the main cocoa here, the main advice here I'm going to give is this. Like, this is coming from a Nigerian, a fellow Nigerian. Yes, I understand what is happening in Nigeria right now. But if you have come into this country as a student to study, and then after study, people who have been in the asylum system and maybe they were able to get the asylum are now advising you to go and claim asylum. Don't do it. Don't do it. And yes, don't leave things till the last minute. With all of this immigration white paper, I'm sure you have been in this country when they've started saying white paper, white paper. Don't leave things till the last minute. Start seeking for other routes rather than saying, I will do asylum. No. If you leave things in the last minute, I would demand that it's the people that are leaving things in the last minute, they are now, caught up and then they're like, oh, asylum is the next thing. It might work for some people and it might not work for you. And for those of you who are already in the asylum system, if you're a Nigerian, you have children that you're watching me, just don't sit on your backside. You can go to college. You can go to college. Adult returner. There are even skills, learning how to sew, learning how to make like hats, a lot of things you can learn. Not a penny. They will, even college will even support you. They will pay your transport fare. And it's even a better opportunity for you if you have younger children who are not of the age to go to school yet. So if you are going to college, college will help you with childcare, which means that you are learning, you are helping your children integrate into the society. Because one of the things that helped me was integration. Yes, one of the major things that helped me was integration. I was studying, my kids are already in nursery. My son, when I went back to college, my son was just 6 months old. When no, was not 6 months. It was just 12 weeks old when I started college. When I started college and uni. So my first son was just 6 weeks old when I started college. My second son was like maybe 9 months when I started uni. Yes, 9 months old when I started uni. So he's been attending nursery since he was 9 months old. My oldest son was 6 weeks old. In fact, I had to defer my admission because I gave back to him in September. He turned 13, he turned 19 today. And I was meant to start college in September. Obviously, I had him in September. So when I spoke to uni said college were like, no, don't worry, your space is there. We will give you time because most nurseries will not accept a child that is not up to 6 weeks old. So the nursery that I found, all of the nursery that I found were like, no, we can enroll him once he turns 6 months. I mean, once he turns 6 weeks old. So I found a couple of nursery closer to the college. I registered his name. So when I spoke to the college were like, okay, that's fine. You can resume your course when your baby is 6 weeks old. So at some point I struggled. So by the time the Christmas holiday and all of that, I just said to the college, you know what, I will start in January. So they were happy for me to start in January. So by then my baby was like maybe going to about 3 or 4 months old. But they were like, no, it has to be 6 weeks. So I had to defer that entry and start college in January. So which meant that my son was about 3 4 months when I eventually started. But then I've missed a lot of classes, but the lecturers were very, very good with me. They were very, very good, and I was able to catch up. And so yes, if you're an asylum seeker who's already an asylum seeker, I don't know for how long you've been, just don't sit on your ass. Okay, get something doing. And for those of you who have finished your studies and they've just advised you to go and claim asylum, you saw that article there, and I would imagine that some of these people have been receiving the text messages to say, you know what, as a Nigerian, you won't be eligible. You won't be eligible. So if you do it, maybe you are just doing so that they can help pay for your ticket back home to Nigeria. Maybe that's why you are doing it. But that's all I've come to share, that the UK is not joking. Just like Trump is not trumping. Trump is not joking with anybody, you know. And there's still going to be many more immigration changes. It's just gonna happen in a matter of time. So you heard somebody else say that Sweden is also doing the same thing. Canada, US, and like I said, I don't blame them. And I think I'm just rounding up, guys. And this is a time whereby those of you who are still back home in Nigeria, we have to wake up from our slumber. We have to wake up from our slumber. You know, we have to wake up from our slumber. We need to start ensuring that we hold our government by their blocos. Yeah, hold them like that. And like I said in the video that I did yesterday, I will not count myself as a Jackperian. I did not jackpa. Yes, so I knew it all. Everybody should prepare themselves. You are right. Everybody should prepare themselves. Like, the immigration is not joking. They are now meaning to provide for their own people. Just the way. Do you know how many protests they've protested against their government here? Why is our Nigerian people not standing up and doing the same with our Nigerians with our government back home? These people are fighting for their government. Fighting. Now we they pay now. You are supposed to listen to us. Why are we Nigerians not doing the same with our government back home? Even though I was talking about this yesterday, some people still saying, you that you are in diaspora, come back to Nigeria now. I am still using my platform to do the same thing. I was saying yesterday that I'm due to travel to Nigeria. I'm terrified of going. Should that be the case? But nothing will happen. I'm a child of God. Nothing will happen to me. Nothing will happen to me. Exactly. They are, yeah. They're even talking of see, Nigerians will, like I said, see, even if you want to jackpot, I'm not against you jackpot, Nicola. I'm not even against Nigerians that want to jackpot, but jackpot in the legal way. Now that now that there's massive changes to progression in terms of visa. Now Kemi Badenoch is saying 15 years. Are you willing to come into this country with 4 children below the age of 10, and you'll be paying for them up until they turned up until you spend 15 years before you are eligible for any support from the government? Are you ready? Do you have such financial capability? If you have such financial capability, why do you want to come here? Why don't you put that money and put your children in the best schools? I can't tell people how to live their life, but please, whatever visa you are coming, make sure you understand what you will get at the end of that visa. Is it the visa that after 2 years you will not be able to get indefinitely to remain? Is it? Is it the visa that you get that, okay, you just want to come here for 2 years and after you just want the experience for your children and you want to go back? And I've said it several times as well that, you know what, rather than before bringing all of your kids, maybe come yourself. Come and see how it is. Come and understand the system. Gain insight. Maybe seek advice. Like, okay, I want to bring my children. I have the funds. What would be the best visa route for us? That it will not be too expensive, because like I said, if you bring 4 children below the age of 5 now with this 15-year route, that means that by the time your children start going to uni, you'll be paying thousands of pounds for school fees for them. And imagine you have 4 children. Like me now, I am lucky. All of my children, their fees were paid by the government. Even me that I went to school 2 times, the government pay for my school fees. That is not going to be the same for those who are just about to come now. Me getting indefinite leave to remain after 4 years in asylum, I don't think they do that anymore. Other people who got their permanent residency after me, they were only given they were only given limited leave to remain 3 years, 4 years. But me, I got indefinite leave, which means after a year, I was able to apply for naturalization and become a British citizen. It's not the same for some people after me then. Not now talk of people that are now coming now. I'm not stopping you because I've got a video coming up where I'm going to be doing that video. People were like, I was advising people. I think I went to Costco last month and I was saying that yeah, I know I've got 5 children. Like, oh, you've got 5 children. Stop advising people not to have plenty children. Go ahead and have plenty children. Go ahead and have plenty children. I was just sharing how, being summer holiday, I've been to Costco twice already. Like, the way food is going, like majority of my salary goes. And yes, I have a video of how I'm still broke. After I'm got a video coming up. I don't even know I'm going to maybe I'm going to title it, yes, I hence so boy, I'm still broke. Yes, I'm still broke because most of my money go on food. 5 children, easy. Yes, I know one is moving to uni. The other one is moving to uni. One is still going from home. So I've got 3 adults now who are at uni, and I still need to cater for 2 younger kids. But then there are still bills to be paid. There are still school trips to be paid for. There are still, car bills. Obviously, yeah, I own my car now. It's no longer under finance. I've owned it for 5 years now. I still need to do MOT, road tax. I was just about my car insurance last year. I paid £1,450 for for car insurance. So this year, thank God that they gave me advance notice. My car insurance is with Tesco. So Tesco were quoting me 2,300 for insurance. I said, I quickly went on, compared the markets. I was able to shop around. I have 2 years, no claim, no discount with Tesco. So I had to go compare the markets, and I was able to find insurance for a year for less than £900. I was like, so how come did I end up paying 1,300 something with Tesco for a year? So my insurance with Tesco is going to end on the 25th. I have asked my new insurance company to start on the 26th. These are part of the things. You can imagine somebody that now has 4 children. They are now coming to this country with all of these new immigration changes. Can you cope? Think well. People are like, oh, you have 5 children. Stop advising people not to have children. I'm not asking you not to have children, though. I'm not asking you to have children, but think well about it. Nicola Sherry said, add in China, very little individual rights. Wow. Nicola said, China, Croatia, Austria, Germany, Singapore, all still open for student visa. Okay, I hope this If I will look into that and see. Let me actually take that down so that I can see what is happening there and maybe just share with other people who still want to travel. So you've got Croatia, Austria. I'm going to go do this assignment. Will I have the time? Because I'm going back to work tomorrow. Germany, Singapore. I'll go look into that. If not, I'll maybe share a video. I'll maybe make a video in regards to that. Right, I'm going to read your comments and then I'll be rounding up. Honey Babe said, replying Cheryl, since there is a lot of propaganda about China, I know people who live there. It is not what the news and media says. David said, would you say that YouTube is lucrative? See, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. And I don't think I will leave my full-time job for YouTube. No. So I actually started making real money. And when I say real money, it's not compared to half of my wage. I'm a UK nurse. So if you know what a UK salary is, what I'm making now on YouTube is not up to half of my salary. So, and it took me up until being on YouTube for 4 years to actually start making that. And it is not the same every month. So for some people who have the following, who have the views, we all know that YouTube pays you according to views. I've seen people who have 1,000 subscribers, and then when they drop videos in an hour or in a day, their videos have about 20-something thousand views. That is what pays. It is not the amount of followers you get on YouTube. So if you are considering YouTube, at least you need to meet the YouTube threshold, 1,000 subscribers, and meet your 4,000 watch hour to be in the YouTube partnership. So once you get yourself into the YouTube partnership, if your follower no grow past the 1,000, don't bother about it. I know people think of bigger numbers so that brand deals will see you. Me, how many brands have I worked with? Like I said, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. I've only worked with maybe 4 brands. I've worked with Sherry, I've worked with Sherry's, I've worked with Uniaco, I've worked with HelloFresh, and I've worked with another student accommodation like that. And I think I only work with them once. Those are the 4 brands I've worked with in the 4 years I've been on YouTube. So there's money on YouTube, okay, but it is not really about the numbers. It's the amount of views that you get. There was one of my videos that got about, was it maybe 300-something thousand views? If I look at how much YouTube paid me for it, I don't think it's up to £200. But if every video you are dropping is giving you 40,000 views, 50,000 views, that is where the money is. Like you drop a video in a day, you already have 50,000 views. That is where the money is. So we use pounds in Scotland, David. I knew it was Gina, good, but citizenship almost impossible, and they are. Yeah, I think somebody already mentioned that. I knew it all as well. So Ama TV is replying, David. We in Scotland we have Scottish pounds, and yes, I've shared my experience of when I went to Liverpool and I took Scottish pounds, and the taxi man will not accept Scottish pounds from me. So even if I'm going to London tomorrow, I wouldn't take cash. I won't take Scottish pounds with me. I will have to travel with my card because, yes, for some reason in England, they are not accepting Scottish pounds. I don't know why. But if you come to Scotland, Scotland accept any notes. David said, I look rich like Wizkid. Amen. Oh. Amen in Jesus' name. I look rich like Wizkid. If you say so. I look rich like Wizkid. I'm not related to Wizkid. Oh. But if you say I am rich like Wizkid, amen in Jesus' name. Right, Honey Babe said the Scottish pound is not legal tender in England. I mean, the first time I was in Liverpool, I was coming out of a taxi and I gave him cash. He was like, "What's that?" I said, "That's pounds." He was like, "No, he doesn't want it." Luckily for me, I saw 2 police officers walking by, and I remember clearly. That was when I had my first interview. I had my first interview of Asylum, so I claimed asylum in Scotland, and I was sent to Scotland. I was sent to Leeds and no Liverpool for my. There's a big home office in Liverpool. I had my big interview at the home office in Liverpool. Yeah, they paid me. They bought me a Virgin train, and they checked me into an hostel. So let's say my interview was a Tuesday. I traveled on the Monday. I checked into an hostel. All accommodation provided. And I remember that day I took a taxi because I didn't know where I was going. So I took a taxi from the hostel to the home office. And just as I was getting off from the taxi, I gave the man Scottish note, and he said no, that he doesn't. I said why? That I'm from Scotland. That's He said he doesn't want the money. That I need to find other ways of paying. Luckily, I saw two police officers. I was like, excuse me, please. I've paid this guy, and they were like, well, obviously they knew. Then my Oyibo was skunk Ninja, like So they said, now you know what, ma'am, we just want you to give the man the money in our presence. If you refuse to accept the money, you are free to go. And I tendered the money again. The taxi man no collect am. Olopa say, miss, you can go. Me, I just usually waka come out. So yeah, I don't know why they don't accept, but you have learned. So anytime I'm even traveling out of Glasgow now, like we're in an era where we don't carry cash. So I can't remember the last time I ever carry cash anyway. Even my trip to London, the last time I went to meet Abby there, I did not have any cash with me. My card. And then I don't even need to carry my bank card. My phone. Tap, tap everywhere I go. You'll be sorted. Sholixa said, what do you think of people who are taking their house help to Qatar whilst others are I've seen cases, I've seen such cases, I've never delved into it, so I'm sorry, I will not be able to hold that. I won't be able to give any comments in regards to that. Welcome, Adesola. Leeds. I've never been in Leeds. Thank you for being here. Amma said Liverpool, Middlesbrough. Oh, they've got me one in Middlesbrough too. Yeah. And I remember the translator that interpreted for me was an elderly man. That was one of the things that prompted me to do translation. I do freelance interpreting as well. Yeah, I do freelance interpreting here, mostly with insurance companies, like hospital appointments, and they pay really well. I think the one I went to do last month, I went there, they did not notify the agency that they've canceled the appointment. They paid me my own money. I was like, you know what, you're still going to pay me my money, my travel cost. I drove down. My travel cost, I charge 50 quid an hour. Anyway, I'm going to interpret. £50 an hour, including transport. I know I'm going to drive there as long as it's within Glasgow. So I don't know, maybe they were not informed or something. So which meant I went there. There was no client. I gave them my invoice. They signed it and I got paid. And most times when you go for all this medical interpreting, maximum time you spend, like especially GP spend maybe 15 minutes with you for an interview, for an appointment. So 15 minutes, the first hour is going to be paid as full. And then then you get paid quarterly. So the first hour, either you spend 10 minutes, you'll be paid full. So if you're at an interview or at a transition appointment, if you were there for 2 hours, they'll pay your full. If you're there for maybe an hour, 15 minutes, they pay your full 1 hour and then they pay you your 15 minutes. So you get paid quarterly afterwards. I hope it makes sense. I remember one of the big interpreting job that I did, which was about 3 years ago. It was a court case in Edinburgh. And this guy he drove through a bus lane. This guy drove through a bus lane. So they told me that I have to be at the court at 10 o'clock. So I took a train from Glasgow to Edinburgh. I was hoping that, they will hear this case, for the fact that they told me that I have to be at the court for 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I got there. I did not even see the client, but I let the court clerk know that I am the interpreter for so clients. They said, okay, that's fine. Do you guys know what time my client case was heard? They went to breakfast. There's 3 teas. First tea, coffee. They went for lunch. They went for lunch at 12 o'clock. They went for tea at 2 o'clock. And then they went for another tea at 5 o'clock. My client's case was not called until 5:45. And I've been at the court since 10 o'clock. I was there for how many hours? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did not leave the court till 6:45. So I was there for almost 8.5 hours. Yes, they paid my money for all the hours that I was there. I was like, did they not know that they won't hear this guy's case until later on? I pretty much spent an entire day at court that day. I was not complaining. I was just drinking coffee. Drinking coffee and stretching my leg. At some point, I went to go and meet the court clerk like, excuse me, when are they going to hear this guy's case? Because I was thinking something I will be for an hour and I will go. No. The guy was like, I don't know, ma'am, but I will let you know. 2 o'clock, I went back again. When is it going to be heard? It dawned on me that his case was the last case of the day because it was just a minor traffic. He drove through I think he was one who drove through a bus lane, but he allegedly lied that he was not the one in there. That was his car, but that was not him in the car. And I've done that before. I've driven, not be say I lied though. I've driven through a bus lane before, and then they will send you a letter and they will say, if you were the one in the car, all you need to do is just sign this and pay the fine. If you know that was your car, but you were not the one in the car, give us the details of the person in the car. So that was why I knew about the case. So the guy claimed that that was his car, but that was not him in the vehicle. So they now charge him to court because I was like, just pay this freaking £60. Pay the freaking £60. They are not going to give you any points or anything. Just pay the £60. So apparently the guy did not pay. He now found himself in court. And then when they now eventually hear the case, he said that he was still maintaining that that was not him in the car, that it was his friend who came visiting in the UK. And that the guy don't leave UK, go back to Nigeria. They had to close the case. So they said he's a free man. He walked off. They had to close the case. I was like, no more. Yeah. So I do translation. I still do translation. Okay. Adesola said free ride. Yes. So Cholisa said, what do you think of people who opened hotel business for over 2 years and are sleeping in 5 to 1 while others who just started business 9 months ago is now launching a new house? Everybody, there's a song that Wizkid sang. Nobody can run your race. Run your own. I will not start an hoteling business if I'm still renting a home. I'll make sure I have a home, build a home for myself. I've seen some people who start an hotel business by renting a building to start their business. And then whatever they generate from that business, maybe they give themselves about 3 years. So I actually know somebody who started a Airbnb business in Nigeria. So this person rented a whole building for 3 years. And then they started doing shortlets. Now, this person just built his own, I don't even know how to, like a multi-flat in Ibadan. And they are now doing shortlet businesses in Ibadan. So ideally for me, I don't know about people else, I will build myself a comfortable home first so that the stress of still paying rent is out of the way. And then the money that I will have been using to pay rent, I'll probably be saving that up, rent a building, affordable building, go into maybe a hoteling business or whatever business you want to do and start generating money. And then if you have good credit, you can maybe go to your bank to loan you money to do that business. And then I think that's what I would do anyway. Each to their own. So like I said, people we run our races differently. They no fear run my race. I will run my race. Run my race. That's what Wizkid said. We run our races differently, but that is how I would run mine if that was me. Why White Honey? I love the name. I love the way you wrote your name. White Honey says, Mom of 5, I thoroughly enjoy your journey, letting us into your family, your truth, your thoughts. You do great job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. I really, really do appreciate. Thank you. Adetola said they will pay 1 hour full, then they prorate the other payment based on me. Yes, that was that. So ideally, all these short interpreting, I don't like doing it, but the short ones is mostly at maybe children hearing cases at courts or maybe appointment at GP. I don't like doing those GP appointment, but it comes a lot to me, so I just do it. Especially on my day offs, if I'm not working or if I have 3 days off, if I see if they send me the job, I drive. So if somewhere that I can easily drive to, I just take my time and just do it just to wind away. White Honey said, grant that you are not in central London, bringing up children is extremely challenging over here. I had my own White Honey. I don't know if you've seen that video on my channel. I'm in Scotland. I recently just had an issue with social services. My story is on my channel there. You can go find it, how it all happened and all of that. So I'm just glad that it's behind me now. Yeah. Cholika said, how did you get the job and where do you advertise your freelance? If you go on to LinkedIn, guys, don't sleep on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, just how do I even get this job? I just opened a profile on LinkedIn and I wrote that I studied Yoruba. Yes, in Nigeria, while I was in secondary school, we were taught Yoruba language, right? I just wrote that as part of the subject I studied, and that was how somebody just did. An agency DM'd me. They sent me an email that, oh, they're a interpreting agency that they would like to um employ me on a self-employed basis, that any of their clients in Scotland that I would go. And then I was like, yeah, why not? So they sent me. In fact, I do translation in Yoruba and I do pidgin. There was a time at some point where the lawyer who did my asylum case, she was like, oh, Wemi, I've got this Benin, he's a Nigerian, but it's Benin. Do you speak Benin language? I said no, but I speak pidgin English. Ask your client if they can communicate in pidgin and understand pidgin English. So my lawyer went back to the client, and the client was like, yeah, as I be speak pidgin English, yeah, make you carry the interpreter, come, we go speak in pidgin English. That was how I added pidgin English to my transition. So each and every time that lawyer has any Edo Benin clients, I was always going for that translation, pidgin English. Yeah, so I translate from English to Yoruba, and then I do English to pidgin English. So Edo clients, I was doing I knew it, so I understand. That's why I'm like, I know. So I do translate in pidgin. So don't take LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an avenue where you can put up your profile as well. For me, I just listed Yoruba as one of the languages I studied while I was in Nigeria. We all studied Yoruba. Like I said, I studied Yoruba from GSS 1 to GSS 3. No, I studied French from GSS 1 to GSS 3. I can't speak a word in French. And then from GSS 3, from SS 1 to SS 3, I studied Yoruba as one of my languages. So, and I'm a Yoruba girl. So, you don't even need to study Yoruba to speak Yoruba. So, yeah, go on to LinkedIn, whatever language you are fluent in, create a free profile on LinkedIn, write it there. All of these people, they will find you. You don't even need to advertise yourself. Yes, I get you, my sis. I was not going to answer that question at first, but hey ho, no hard feelings here. We are all learning. Whoever wants to take it the other way, I leave them to God. Um, all right, okay, I understand this person that is coming out. I'm sorry, Sholixa, for the fact that you're asking all of these questions. I believe you know the answers already. So I won't be answering any of your comments. No, I'm not being rude. I just want to be respectful and understand people's, struggles and whatever or however they want to live their lives. Okay. Your first question was a bit, but out of respect, I've answered it. But the other ones you've actually asked now, I think I know where these questions are coming from, and I'm sorry, I will not be answering them. Okay. But with that being said, don't be a stranger on my channel. Um, White Honey said, yes, I watched the video. It was amazing that you were calm. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, I have to go now. I've not stepped out of my house since Sunday after church. As a nurse, when you get your days off, I've been sleeping. I come on YouTube like in the morning right now, do a couple of videos, and then I jump straight into my bed. That's what. So I've been off for. So the last day I was working was I last worked on Thursday. So that's why it's good to do all these extended hours at work. So for me, I've changed my working pattern. So I do 3 weeks of 3 days a week, 12-hour shift, and then the fourth week I do 4 days a week. If I like, I can decide to do a Saturday, so which means that I still have my 2 days off in the week. So now my last week was 3 days of work for me, and one of them was our CME day, our training day. And then that day I was sent to the world to go and work. I was raging mad. I was mad. Why are you sending me to the world? I've never worked on the world since I qualified. Why are you sending me to the world? I was so freaking mad, but I had to go anyway. So it was another learning curve for me. And these patients are not strange to me. I've looked after straight patients like that in recovery. So it was just like walking in the world just felt like that was how I felt. So I was there for half a day, and then another colleague went for half a day. So I was practically working 2.5 days last week, and then I've been off since Friday, Saturday. I did it with the work Sundays. Sunday off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So tomorrow I'm going back to work, and I'm only working 2 days this week, Thursday, Friday, and then I'm off again. Not back till next week Tuesday. I love my job. I love my job. Um. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for that, for being here. And I think I have a video coming up. I think I'm gonna try and sit up and make that video on Sunday. It was a video Tolulope Solutions made. What Tolulope Solutions, okay, about motherhood, and she couldn't have said it. She couldn't have made that video, and she couldn't have said the things she said in that video better than the way she did. So yeah, I'm just going to react a little bit to the things she said. Obviously, I like motherhood, and I said that people were like, "Oh, you have 5 children. Stop advising people not to have children." I'm not saying people should not have children, no. But in this modern age, I will advise you, even if you are in diaspora, not to have 5 children. If you like, listen. If you like, don't listen. Now, me no. I'm in the shoes of being a mother of 5. So yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for being here. And I don't know if I have a live stream tonight. Maybe it's just a video that I'm dropping. I don't know yet, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I have to go. Thank you so. And yeah, so I have a GoFundMe. If you go to my if you go to my link and my community, I have a GoFundMe. I'm hoping to take my kids to Nigeria for the first time. So my kids have never been to Nigeria. I've been I've been in Scotland for 20 years. I've been to Nigeria twice since I've been here. In fact, I have a trip coming up in about 2 months. So, but I would love to take my kids to Nigeria. And why did I decide I wanted to take my kids to Nigeria? Last year, Christmas was the most boring Christmas ever in my life. Since I've been in the UK, I have never enjoyed Christmas. At some point, I stopped celebrating Christmas. I just do it for the kids, like, put the Christmas tree up, put the gifts underneath the tree, do the food. I have, since I've been in the UK, I have never enjoyed Christmas. But last year, Christmas tried me. It was the most boring. Like Christmas Eve, I opened my window. The street was firm. The street was dry. I could cry. I could cry. And the weather last Christmas, those of you who are in the UK or if you're in Glasgow, you will know that last year weather was good. It was not too cold. There was no snow. You would think that people should be out and about, right? And then I prepared myself. I had about 12 days off for the Christmas and New Year. I want to spend time with the kids and enjoy it. Last year, Christmas was the most boring Christmas of my life ever. And at some point, I cried because I missed Christmas in Nigeria. My kids enjoyed it because they were just watching all the movies. They were eating, like waiting children, Sabi. But for me and my husband, we're just looking at each other. There was nothing. I was hoping that people will invite us to come and eat in their house, at least so I can dress up, right? Nothing. And then Christmas Day came. Christmas Day came. Hey! Even my neighbor did not send me Christmas card. Me too, I did not send Christmas card to anybody. Christmas Day came. Obviously, there was a lot of activities at work. I was in my pink Christmas. I laid my frontal for the first time ever. I was looking pink. And then Christmas Day came. I cooked. I've always enjoyed cooking anyway. I cooked. By 12 o'clock, I've already cooked. My dining table was set. The kids were just going back and forth. And then I glanced out of the window. I even took a drive out. Everywhere was quiet. No single soul on the streets. I parked and I cried. And I spoke to my parents. You can hear the enjoyment. No music. My dad, Kai, Omo. If I could how did they talk that word? If I could transmit myself to Nigeria that Christmas Day, I would. I cried, speaking to my family over the phone, knowing that they were all enjoying, jubilating. It's not about the food, it's being with family. And then I made up my mind, this year Christmas, this GoFundMe is starting late. But yes, I am not ashamed though. I am putting it out there with my full chest. So if you are led to support me, like I said, none of my children have ever been to Nigeria. But for me, I have been twice. So I left Nigeria with my oldest child when she was 9 months old. So I gave birth to my 4 other children here in the UK. So my oldest is now 21 years old. So yes, make Christmas magical. It's a short moment. Obviously, like I said, I started the GoFundMe late. I'm trying to raise, according to GoFundMe, it says my target will be £4,000. See, even if I will be able to raise £4,000, because my target was 10,000. And why did I say 10,000? In January, when I went back to work, I went to meet my manager to say, by this year, I'm going to need about a month off. I'm going to need about a month off because I'm planning on taking my kids home to Nigeria for holidays. And she was like, oh, that shouldn't be any problem. Just send me an email and then I'll let you know when to go buy your ticket. So when I went to go and check British Airways, and I pop like, okay, if we go for 2 weeks, blah, 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 blah. The flight tickets, if you're going from Glasgow to Gatwick to Nigeria for 6 people. So I've excluded my husband because my husband goes to Nigeria as often, for business. It was almost £10,000 because that's 4 adults and 2 child below the age of 16. Almost £10,000. That's like a deposit for a mortgage for some people. I was like, wahala, £10,000. So yes, I have the link is in my. Let me see if I can even share it here. Let me see if I can drop my link here. So let me see if I can drop the link in the comment section for those of you who are here. So if you are led to help make Christmas magical, please make it possible. I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed. Let me try and get the link. Let me see if I can get the link. Okay. So I'll put the link here. So those of you who are here. So that's my link there. So whatever, even if I'm obviously it's too late now, but yeah, it's what I want to happen. It's not as if maybe I'm not going to spend any. It's not as maybe I'm not going to spend from my end. Like my kids, they don't have Nigerian passports, so I will have to put that in process. But obviously, if I'm aiming to get them to Nigeria for Christmas this year, even applying for Nigerian passport here will not be possible. So I'm gonna have to apply for a visa on their British passport, or we could do visa on arrival. The first time I went back to Nigeria, when I got my definite remain, I did visa on arrival. So what's happening? What's Jojo and Lisa? Hello Jojo, how are you? What's Cholisa and Jojo about? Um, Cholisa said abroad life is very lonely and not many living abroad. Yes, so like there's nothing to hide. We all know like living abroad can never be the same as living in Nigeria. They will paint a different image. Please, I don't want you to be calling people's name. Like, please, if these people that have been called in the comment section, please, I am not encouraging you calling out anybody here. Please, we are all adults, and I want us to be very, very respectful in our thoughts. Please, whatever people decide to do is their decision. Okay, we don't live with them, so we wouldn't know why they make any decision they make about their family. So let us respect people's decisions. Okay, so yes, when I went to check on British Airways, £10,000. So, and I think for me, see, even means if even if it means I'm going to go through another airline, I think often people will say KLM is cheaper, but with KLM you will not probably have to travel through Amsterdam, then you have to wait for 3 or 4 hours and then onward. Even if it means going there to make the ticket even cheaper, and then like I said, they don't have Nigerian passport, so I will either have to apply for a visa for them or make an application for visa on arrival, which means that they can travel to Nigeria with their British passport and they will just get a stamp on and in Nigeria for a visa. And then once they're in Nigeria, then we can go and make Nigerian passport for them, which was what I did. So yeah, that's what I want. So Lisa said, if you are someone that's used to always going out and always being around people, abroad is not easy for such people. Depression will swallow you. For me, with my 5 children, we have like a more or less like but still, you still want to be able to mix about with a lot of people. But yes, like that last Christmas was tough. It was tough, really, really tough, really, really tough, really, really tough, really, really tough. Anyway, guys, so that's my GoFundMe link in there. So thanks so much for those of you who have been here. I really appreciate you also. I hope I've been able to pass across the message to all of our Nigerian people that come seeking asylum. If you came on the visiting visa or if you came on the studying visa, it's not really the way to go. And the UK government, they are clamping down, they are closing borders, and they mean it. And I won't be surprised. Like I said, autumn is here. The weather is going to start getting colder, getting darker, and that is when they believe that people who are going to start coming to apply for for asylum, and then I would imagine that they already have a record, or they already have a list of people whose 2 years after studying is coming to an end. So they are expecting that there's going to be a huge surge of asylum applications. So yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for being here. I knew it all said the Nigerian visa are very expensive, best to get passport. But if I'm aiming to get them to Nigeria for Christmas this year, I don't think I'll be able to get a Nigerian passport done, because my colleague at work said that she made the application to apply for a Nigerian passport for her kids in February. She only went for that appointment. She only went for that appointment in August there. So me now that I want to take them in December, I don't think I'll be able to get Nigerian passport for them. I don't think so. And when I applied for visa on arrival, my husband has a colleague in Abuja, so I was able to get the application, like the visa application, the visa on arrival application done in like a day. They just needed my passport photograph, my details, my passport details, and all of that, and they were able to issue me the application, the visa. And I think if I'm not mistaken, and like I said, the last time I was in Nigeria was in 2021. If I was not mistaken, I paid $350. $350 was how much I paid for that application. And then immediately I got to Nigeria, I just asked them, where is the section for visa on arrival? They directed me there, and I already shared my experience. The guy was very, very helpful. It was, even while I was waiting, it was one way me to go take my bags from the thingy. And within 45 minutes, I was done. I was done. Even though the soldier by the door was like asking to take something from me, I was like, Mr. Man, I be Niger. He was like, why do you not have a Nigerian passport? I said, this is my first time in a long time in Nigeria. So are you not Nigerian? I said, I am Nigerian. So what has that got? So because I've been Nigerian now, I can't come in on a different passport and apply for visa on arrival. It was trying to contain me, but like, Uncle Oga, I don't get your time. So it was while he was grilling me, one of the staffs from the visa on arrival section came in and said, what's in the happen now? When I told you, were like, allow this woman pass now. So it was the one who helped me make the process really straightforward for me. So I need to say the Nigerian visa very expensive. Best to get passport here in the UK. Nigeria no longer does express 1 day service. You will have to wait a week. All right, okay. During my mind, like I said, my husband knows somebody in Abuja who was able to help make the process really quick for me. So yeah, we have somewhere to stay. Staying in Nigeria is not a problem. We have somewhere to stay. Comfortable place to stay. I knew it all said the Nigerian visa are very expensive. Best to get passport. She said, tell us about your lovely hair. So this hair is from, I've got a box somewhere. What is it from? Let me find the box. The hair is from this company. If you want a code, DM me. If you want a code, DM me on Instagram. I'll send you a code where you can get maybe 25%. I just want them to, I'm not sharing the code publicly because I want them to come and maybe sponsor a video on my channel, because I've got 3 of their hair that I've bought. 3 in the past, but these are new. So it's from ICA. And it came in a very beautiful, the way they package the hair, oh my God, you would fall in love. So if you want me to share my money off coupon code with you, send me a DM on my Instagram, damom5 on Instagram, and I'll send a link to you. So it's from this company, ICA. Okay, that's where my hair from. And I knew it all said, boy, it takes a long time to get an appointment for a passport in the UK, unless you know someone you can get ahead of. So my kids, they have a British passport. They don't have a Nigerian one, so they can still travel to Nigeria with their British passports. But before we go, I will have to apply to the Nigerian embassy. When I was applying for mine, I did not apply through Nigeria. I didn't apply through London. No. I went through somebody we know in Abuja. So, like I said, that application, it was granted within a day. I made the payments. $350 is a lot for a visa. I know, but maybe for children it might not be that expensive, and maybe if I'm doing multiple, they might be able to give me a discount. Like I said, maybe the person that we went through added money. Maybe, I'm just saying, but that was the money my husband, that was the amount he told my husband, and yes, that was how much I paid for it. But like I said, it was really straightforward for me. And when I was in Nigeria, I went ahead to apply for my Nigeria. I was in Nigeria for 2 weeks, and by the time I was leaving, the passport was not ready. So since I knew somebody there, also another contact, I gave the person my sister's info that, come, if the passport is ready, contact my sister, and then my sister will arrange for it to get to me. So it took about 3 months from when I applied. And with that being said, when I was coming back to the UK, the immigration controller was like, why are you giving me a British passport to stamp? And I said to him, well, I was only in Nigeria for 2 weeks. I have applied for a Nigerian passport, but it's not ready yet. What do you want me to do? It was like, do you have the evidence of your passport that you've applied for? And I was like, on top waiting. So thank God I had a wallet with all of my documentation, and I showed him the slip to say that I have applied. They've done capturing, they've done everything. And he was like, all right, okay, enjoy your trip back to the UK. I said, thank you, sir. Me, Omolomo, I'm not looking for Wala. I said, thank you, sir. And then I went, and that was that. So it took 3 months from when I applied. And then my sister said to me, oh, the passport is ready. So she had to DHL it to me. So I have my Nigerian passport here now. I have my Nigerian passport here. So that's it there. I don't know why I did not do the how many some. I think there's a page that you can do. So the one I have here now will expire August next year. So which is a good thing for me to. I don't know if I'll be able to renew. I mean, being able to renew here should be fine. But yeah, so it's expiring August next year, August 26th. And then I've got my other one. You know, we now have black passport now in Scotland. It used to be a red color. They've changed it to black. So black and green. Matching combo, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's that. So yeah, and like I said, my kids, they don't have Nigerian passports. So yeah. Yeah, so this is something I really want to do for them. I really do. I really want them to go, enjoy the atmosphere of being in with a large family. It's somebody was like, oh, why don't you why don't you bring your parents instead? I'm like, bringing my parents is not the problem. My mom's been here before. My family members have been here before. It's not about bringing family member. It's a matter of wanting them to experience the culture, like the proper food. The first time my children saw chicken, live chicken, my husband went to Nigeria and he filmed the goat and something in the compound, and he brought the video back. You need to see how my kids were so stunned looking at the video of goats. Man, I was laughing. Yeah, I was laughing. So it will be lovely to see them, experience that themselves. Yeah, so yeah. Queen's Paris said, no discount. I did for my 3 kids and not be the same price each. Oh, all right. I mean, $350 is not, to be honest, $350 is not a lot. I would rather do that than go to Nigeria embassy in London. I will fight. I will cause wahala there. I will cause wahala there because I've seen videos of people who went there and how they've been treated. I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I'll be able to stomach that shenanigans. I don't think I'll be able to stomach that shenanigans because I will cause wahala and I'll be the one to call police myself. So I don't think I'm ready to face Nigeria embassy in London. No. The wahala they put my husband through when my husband went for his first passport as well. I'm sure you can't forget that. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, my GoFundMe is there, guys. So if you are led, support a sister. All right. Anyway, guys, let me go. Thanks so much for being here. I hope I've been able to pass all the message across for those of you Nigerians who are looking to claim asylum. Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. I know we all have different journeys in our life, and the way we go about such journeys, especially, the joy of wanting a second passport, wanting a second passport for our children. It can be very, very daunting. It can be a long journey, but the UK is shutting its doors. The UK is shutting its doors. So let us, like I said, with all of this I've said, I'm still going to encourage people to jackpot, but do it in a legal way. Legal documentation, come via the legal means. That's my last word for you. Thanks so much, guys. Have an amazing Wednesday, and I will see you guys later. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your post notification, share this video. Do not hesitate to join my membership. Okay, my membership, the cheapest is £2.99. I'm sure you can give me £2.99 a month. And also, do not forget to check my business page, www.tmo5candle.co. If you're in the UK, I sell scented candles, wax melts, car diffusers, home diffusers, support a small business as well. And I really appreciate it. All right. And if you want a discount code because you're coming from YouTube, let me know. If you're about to place your order and you want me to give you like a 10% discount or 20% discount, let me know. I will gladly do that. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye.